be recording this talk. Let me just remind everyone about good etiquette, which I think most people are following, but just a reminder, particularly as it applies to online bridge. So please remember to say hello to your opponents when they arrive. And if you're in the middle of discussing a hand, it's a bit rude to carry on talking about it and ignore your opponent. So please don't do that. You are meant to alert and announce all your partner's alertable bids. But apart from that, you really shouldn't talk during the round, either about bridge or about something else. I mean, I know we're all guilty of that. If I haven't seen people for a while, I will sometimes ask them a question, how are they, and so forth. But try to keep that to a minimum, especially when someone's trying to think about the hand. Don't criticize your partner unless you are asked for your opponent, asked about it, and even then it's better to do it afterwards rather than at the table. And don't volunteer comments on the opponent's play or bidding unless it's to say well done to them, unless you're asked about it. Yeah, some people stay online afterwards on Real Bridge and like to go through the hands together. That's a great way of learning if that's what you want to do. So others, you might just look at it on your own. But if you wish to do that, by all means, stay online on Real Bridge or discuss them afterwards. Remember to keep your background noise to a minimum. And on Real Bridge, you can reduce the volume of another player by clicking on the volume icon below their picture. And then there's a slider bar. And don't forget to say goodbye to the opponent at the end of the round, okay? So there's a little warning message you get when there's 10 seconds to go. So you can use that to just say goodbye and thank the opponents. Does anyone else have any comments on any of that? Do unmute yourselves if you wish to speak. I just thought we'd start with that because there are a couple of instances of people, talking and ignoring the opponent. So if you can avoid doing that, then that makes it all a lot more pleasant for everyone. But we'll talk today about the bridge, and what we're going to talk about is establishing a side suit before drawing trumps. There are situations where you need to draw trumps right away in a bridge hand, but there are some situations where you need to delay drawing trumps for some reason, and establishing a side suit can be one of them. So I was looking at this hand from, I think it was New Year's Eve, board 1 on the 31st of December last year, and this was the hand, and this was the recommended bidding, my recommended bidding as to how it should go. 1 no trump by North, a 2-heart overcall, 11 points, a good 6-card suit, that seems about right. And South has got 13 points, enough points for game, and with a 5-card major, you can't play transfers anymore after an interference, so you revert to normal bridge bidding, and 3 spades is a forcing bid, showing exactly a 5-card suit and giving your partner a choice of 3 no trump or 4 spades. Here your partner bids 4 spades, and that ends the auction. And most people on this hand were in 4 spades. If I scroll down, you'll see that most people were in 4 spades. The computer actually says that North-South can make 5 spades, in other words, can make an over trick, but most people didn't do that. In fact, only one person made +1. One person made 450 on that. 2 other people made 420, and 2 went down. So I thought we'd have a look at this being played in a couple of different ways. This is actually how it was played at the table on a couple of different occasions, and this was one of them. And let's have a look at the bidding here. 1 no trump, 2 hearts, and then South on this hand made a double. Now a double, when your partner has made a bid like 1 no trump, is normally played for penalties. There are other systems possible, but most standard bridge, a double of a bid when your partner has made a bid that narrowly defines their hand, like one no trump, is for penalties. And if my partner doubled two hearts, North should perhaps pass. However, North didn't pass. North maybe was had a different idea and bid three clubs, thinking it was some kind of takeout double, perhaps. But South, in any case, jumped to four spades. So they ended up in a good contract. And let's have a look at how this was played. So do interrupt me if you have any comments or questions. West led the Jack of Hearts. And if you have a look at the two hands together, you can see you're probably not going to lose any spades. You've got some hearts to lose. You've got the ace of diamonds to lose. And maybe, though, you can set up the diamonds and discard your losers. Anyway, this is what this declarer did. They won the first trick with the ace, and they started immediately to draw trumps. They played the ace, the queen, and they drew the last trump with the king. Now they turned their attention to diamonds. Unfortunately, what happens is that East got in with the ace of diamonds, and if I just bring up the four hands, you'll see that having gained the lead with the ace of diamonds, East was now able to cash hearts. In fact, they cashed 3 rounds of hearts. Okay, and declarer couldn't do anything about it, and that was it. That was 9 tricks declarer made. In other words, declarer went down one on this one. Okay. Let's have a look at it played another way. Sorry, this one is over here. Let's have it played another way. Here again, the bidding is not quite right. It starts off one no trump, 2 hearts. South bid 2 spades, which is a sign-off bid. So that should be a weak hand with at least a 5-card spade suit. And North did indeed pass this one. Luckily for North-South, East came back in. And the opponents didn't play it in 2 spades, they bid 3 hearts, and now maybe South realised they had misbid the first time and they jumped to 4 spades. So again, they ended up in a good contract, though not bidding it quite correctly. And again, the opponents led a heart, and again, we're going to look at how this one was played. Before we play this one, I'm going to launch the first poll of the afternoon. I've just got 2 polls, and I'd like you to tell me how many potential losers do you think declarer has. So looking at this hand from the point of view of the South hand, but taking into account all the strength in dummy, how many potential losers do you think South has? Take a minute, and then I'm going to launch a poll, and I'd like you to tell me how many losers. And the majority have gone for 2 losers, 74%, 16% said 3 losers, and 11% said 4 losers. Now, the correct answer, I suppose, depends on exactly what you mean by it. But if we switch back to the hand, what I mean by it is how many potential losers do you have? Let's assume we play it as we played it last time, just drawing trumps. Well, if we draw trumps first, we're going to hopefully lose no spades, but we have 3 heart losers. So in the South hand, we have 3 potential heart losers, plus the ace of diamonds. So we start off with 4 potential losers. And indeed, when we looked at how it was played the first time, that's what happened. Declarer lost those 4 tricks. They were 4 potential losers that turned into actual losers. Those of you who have said that you can only have 2 losers, can you tell me why you've said 2 losers? Can anyone who said 2 losers tell me why? They've said 2 rather than 4. Just unmute yourselves and let me know.
Because you would trump in.
You would trump in what?
The hearts.
You're gonna trump 2 hearts in dummy.
No, you're not, are you?
Well, no, is that what you're thinking? I mean, it's probably what most of you are thinking, that you have two hearts that you could trump in dummy. The problem with roughing hearts in dummy is you're going to be roughing at least one of those with a high trump, and then you probably will lose another trump trick. So, so the answer really to this question is that you have four potential losers, is really the
Mm.
right answer, but you're going to reduce that by some means. And there are two possibilities. One is roughing one or more of those hearts. And what's the other possible way of eliminating some of those heart losers?
Establishing the diamonds.
Yes, establishing the diamonds. In fact, if we establish the diamonds, can you see that because we have four diamonds in dummy and two in your own hand, you'll be able to set up two tricks and discard your hearts on the diamonds. And that's probably the best bet on this hand. But the danger is, of course, that when you play the diamonds, the opponents will get in with the ace and may do what they did last time, which was to cash the heart tricks. So the key to this hand is to delay drawing trumps until you've set up the diamonds, and this is how it was played at another table. They made 11 tricks. I'll just show you how it was played. They took their ace of hearts, and instead of drawing trumps now, they turned their attention to diamonds. And what they're going to do is force out the ace of diamonds so that the opponents will not be able to run their hearts. You're protected at the moment while you still have trumps in dummy, but at some point you're going to draw trumps, and then you want to make sure that the opponents cannot run their hearts. So this is what this declarer did. She started off very well with King of Diamonds. Now the opponents didn't take their ace, so you really got to carry on again and play another diamond, hoping it doesn't lead to a ruff. Now the opponents got in with their ace of diamonds. They took a heart, okay, and this particular East didn't carry on with another heart. They decided maybe to switch to a club. Declarer took that, and now I don't know if you can see, Declarer is in good shape now, because now you've got in, all you need to now do is draw trumps, and you've got the Queen Jack of Diamonds on which you can discard your two hearts. Now, that's the easiest way to play this at this point. This particular declarer didn't do that. She actually played another heart. Maybe she was thinking she wanted to ruff a heart in dummy, but that was unnecessary. In fact, what happened, West ruffed with a 7, and fortunately declarer was able to overruff, although it had to be with a high trump, the Queen. And now declarer was able to draw trumps. She was lucky at this point that she was able to draw trumps now in 2 rounds without losing a trick, but that's what happened. They took the last 2 trumps. Now they crossed over to dummy's ace of clubs and were able to cash the diamond at the end. So this declarer managed 11 tricks on this one, which is what it should have done. The only one to make 11 tricks there. Anyone have any comments or questions on that? So it's all a matter of seeing the danger here of drawing trumps after the ace of hearts is gone is that the opponents will be able to cash hearts, and you need to delay drawing trumps so that you've got the diamonds ready to run after you've drawn trumps. Do interrupt me if you have any comments on that. Let's have a look at another one, and here let's look at this from a South point of view. South's got a balanced hand with 2 bids, 2 no trump. Their partner responds 3 clubs, which is Stayman. Here North is actually interested in a fit in either major. They've got 4-4 in the majors. But East comes in with a 3 heart overcall. I like that bid. I mean, especially if the opponents are going to end up in no trump, you definitely want your partner to lead hearts, and so you come in at the 3 level. Now, over the overcall, South now has to decide what to bid. On this occasion, they have 4 spades, and it doesn't seem like your partner was probably interested in hearts, so you can bid 3 spades if you have a 4-card suit. If you happen not to have 4 spades, then you could either pass, because your partner will get another chance to bid again, or you might, if you had, say, a reasonable stopper in hearts, bid 3 no trump. So here you've got 4 spades, so you bid 3 spades, and your partner raises you to game. And let's have a look at how this goes. You'd expect West here to lead a heart, so they lead the 5 of hearts. And let's have a little think about this. And again, I'd like you to think about how many potential losers you have in this hand. You can look at this from the point of view of South. Normally you look at it from the point of view of the hand with the longer trump suit, or in some cases from the stronger hand. And then if we look at this from the point of view of the South hand, how many losers do you have? There's no poll on this. Just tell me how many losers you think you have altogether. 3, is that?
Mm-hmm. 2 hearts and an ace of diamonds.
Yep, very good. So it looks like you're in good shape, doesn't it? Let's see how it goes. Let's suppose the opponent take the first trick with the jack, lead another heart back, and they play a 3rd heart. Now, you know based on the bidding that East has got a long heart suit, so it's very likely that West would be able to ruff this one if you ruff low. So the first thing you've got to do on this hand is realize there's a danger of, if you ruff with a 4, that you would get over-ruffed. However, you've got good trumps, ace, king, queen, jack, 10. So first thing is to ruff high. West does indeed discard. Okay. Now let's suppose we turn our attention to trumps. So we're 4-4 in trumps, so it's going to take, we think, 3 rounds to draw the opponent's trumps. Let's suppose we start off with the 10, then play the king, and we draw the last trump with the ace. Okay, that's all the trumps gone. And now maybe you're going to turn your attention to diamonds. But there's a problem, because if we play a diamond to the 10, if we bring up the 4 hands again, you can see that East here, having won the ace of diamonds, can now take a heart trick, because you have no more trumps left in your hand. And East will take the queen of hearts and will be able to defeat the contract that way. Okay, so East-West have taken 4 tricks now, and you're going to be down 1 in a contract you think you thought you were going to make. What can you do about that? Well, it's similar to the last hand. Let's have a look at this played differently. What we're going to do is play it up to the point we played it before, where they take 2 hearts, they play another heart which you ruff, and let's suppose you start by drawing trumps like before with the king. The king. You have to realize at this point that although there's still a trump out, you haven't set up the diamonds. And if you let the opponents back in with the ace of diamonds, they may be able to cash a heart if you draw this last trump. So here we've drawn 2 rounds of trumps, and now we need to stop. We need to pause at this moment, because we need to do what we did last time and establish the diamonds. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to establish the diamonds. They can take their ace, and now if they lead back another heart, we still have a trump in our hand. We'll ruff with the ace. There's still a trump out, so we need to get to dummy, which we can do with a club. And now we can draw the last trump and take the remaining tricks. So we'll make 10 tricks there. And what you had to remember there was to try to remember that the opponents might take hearts if you get rid of all your hearts from the south hand. Any comments on that? Okay, let's try another one. 1 spade here you open, it goes 3 spades and 4 spades. And the opponents start off with the ace of hearts. And I've got the second and final poll of the afternoon, which is the same question as last time. How many losers do you think you have here? How many potential losers do you think you have? So take a moment, and then I'm going to launch the second and final poll in a minute. And sorry, just wait for it to come up. And most of you, 82%, have gone for 4, with a smaller number, 14% saying 3, and 1 person saying 2. And 4 is the right answer. If you came up with an answer other than 4, then I suggest you sort of look at this video again, try to make sure you are studying able to count losers correctly, because it's an absolutely critical part of playing in a sous contract. Yes, we have 4 losers. We have 2 heart losers, which it looks like we're going to lose right away. We expect to lose a diamond, and we may also lose a club. Well, we're going to lose a club, and we hope we can avoid the diamond loser. We can't do anything about the 2 hearts, and we can't do anything about the ace of clubs, but we hope to avoid that diamond loser. How can we avoid the diamond loser?
By playing the clubs.
By playing the clubs, that's right. When we play the clubs, that will provide 1 discard for a diamond loser. So that's what we're planning to do on this hand. Now the opponents start off with the ace of hearts, the king of hearts, and let's suppose they play a diamond. Okay, and we win that one with the ace of diamonds. Now remember, the key decision when you gain the lead in a sous contract is, are you going to draw trumps, or are you going to try to do something else first? What do you think you should do on this hand? It's not a poll. Anyone like to say what they think they would do? Would you draw trumps, or would you play another suit?
Lead a club.
Draw trumps.
Well, there's a danger in playing clubs, which is, if we don't draw trumps, which is there's a danger of a ruff. In fact, on this hand, because I've got good trumps, and because I've got the king of diamonds, I think I can afford to draw trumps first. And that's what you should do if you can. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got, remember, 9 trumps here, so it's going to take 2 or 3 rounds probably. Let's play the queen. Okay, he's discarded, so there's 2 more trumps, but I can still afford to draw. Sorry, let me just bring up the hand at this point. I can still afford to draw that last trump. That's all the trumps gone, and now I can play the clubs. Remember, I need to play the clubs. The opponents will get in with their ace at some point, and when they do, whatever they play, if they play a diamond, I can win that with the king, but my clubs are now set up, and I can cash the last 2 clubs, discarding the diamond. And I'll make my 10 tricks that I needed to. There's a danger if you don't draw trumps, and that is that the opponents may be able to ruff. In other words, this is exactly the same hand, but played slightly differently. The opponents start off with 2 hearts, then they play the queen of diamonds as before. Now, if you try to set up the clubs now, if the opponents let you win the first one and win the second one, can you see that East can now defeat the contract by playing another club? Okay, and you will suffer a ruff there, and you will lose 4 tricks. 4 tricks anyway. So do draw trumps if you can afford to, but there are hands where you need to defer drawing trumps until you've established the side suit.
Funny, would it be worth just drawing a couple of rounds of trumps just to make sure there's no strange distribution?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Suppose you...
I'm just saying in general, not on this hand in particular.
Okay. I mean, well, it would have to be... on this... there are hands where you could draw some trump as long as you're still protected. On this hand, I don't think it would work very well.
Yeah,
because
but on this hand, you're not necessarily looking for another rough, are you? You're looking for a discard, aren't you?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But if you make the mistake here of say drawing 2 rounds of trumps, then they'll still get a rough. They can still get a
Oh,
rough.
right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can draw trumps, you should.
Right.
But obviously, it's not always the right thing to do. Let's have a look at another one and see what you make of this. You open 1 spade here. Your partner bids 2 spades, and the opponents have bid hearts here. I think you should go straight to 4 spades on this hand. Although it's only 17 points, it's a very nice distribution, very nice hand. And if you use the losing trick counts, you'll see I think you've just got 5 losers: 1 club, 2 diamonds, 1 heart, and 1 spade. So it's a 5 loser hand, and I think it's worth going to 4 spades. And the opponents start off with the king of hearts, and down comes dummy, and you stop to make a plan here. Now, how many losers do you expect here? Not a poll, just tell me how many losers you expect to have here.
3.
3.
3. 1 heart and 2 diamonds. It looks like we're in pretty good shape here, doesn't it? Looks like we should be able to make 4 spades. But there's still a danger in going wrong here. Let's see how it goes. Let's suppose the opponents take a heart, play another heart, which you rough. Okay? Now, that's 1 trump gone. And let's suppose we start by drawing trumps here. So we play the ace, and we play another trump, and East discards at this point. So if you want to double check on the points of the number of trumps that have gone, that's 2 rounds, but East discarded, plus the one you roughed, so that's 8 trumps have gone. 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's still 1 trump out. And you may let's just see what happens if you try to draw it. So if we draw that last trump, okay, that's all the trumps gone. Now we're going to maybe turn our attention to diamonds to get our 2 tricks there. But things can go wrong here. And let's suppose they take their king and lead back another heart. Well, if they play another heart and you want to win this trick, you're going to have to rough it. And now you have no more trumps left in your own hand, and you still haven't set up the diamonds. So if you play another diamond, they can take their second diamond, and if they lead another heart, you're powerless to do anything about it. The opponents will take 4 tricks there, and you'll be defeated. All right. So what went wrong on that hand? How could we avoid it? Let's play it again slightly differently. They start off with 2 hearts, and let's suppose you draw 1 round and a second round of trump, and you discover the bad break now. And this is a point that you need to reconsider what you're going to do on this hand, because you want to set up 2 diamond tricks, but you're missing the ace and the king of diamonds. So that means when you play diamonds, there's a danger that the opponents will keep plugging away with hearts, and you will have to rough twice to stop them taking their heart tricks. So because you will in danger of losing the lead twice in diamonds, you need to keep 2 trumps in your hand. And in other words, abandon drawing trumps at this point. In fact, if I click on the GIB link at this point, the computer is telling me that I can only make my contract if I lead a minor suit. If I lead a trump here, I'm in danger of being defeated, as I was before. So here I need to keep 2 trumps so that I can rough any hearts that are led back. What I'll do is I'll try to set up the diamonds now. Let's suppose they take their diamond and lead a heart. I'm okay, I can rough high here. Okay, and I still need to set up diamonds again. If they take their second diamond here and lead another heart, I'm still just about okay. I can ruff that last one, and there's still a trump out, so I need to get to dummy, which I'll do with the queen of clubs, draw that last trump, and now I'll be able to make the rest of the tricks. Now I'll be able to make my 10 tricks. So that was quite a tricky one, involving realizing that you're in danger in hearts of the opponents playing hearts, and you running out of trumps on that hand. Okay. Any comments or questions on that? I just wanted to look at this hand actually, just from the point of view of East, and the key thing on this hand is this is exactly the same hand, but we can look at it from the defense's point of view, and see if you can figure it out the right defense from East's point of view. Here, you play 2 rounds of hearts, and they started roughing, and Declarer starts drawing trumps. Okay, draws all the trumps, and when he plays a diamond here, if you win with your king, you should realize that although Declarer's got no more hearts in their hand because they've already roughed, but it's still okay to lead a heart, even though you know it's going to be roughed. The important thing is it can't be roughed in the south hand and the north hand. It can only be roughed in one hand. So if it's not always a mistake to lead a suit, even though you know it can be roughed, because in a situation like this, it will shorten Declarer's trump holding. And in fact, if you're counting trumps as a defender, you will realize that Declarer just has one more trump in their hand, and if you lead another heart, Declarer will be forced to ruff with their last trump. And now, if a diamond is played, your partner can get in and will be able to cash a heart. So I just put that in as a topic for the defense, really, that it's not always a mistake to lead a suit, even though you know it's going to be roughed by Declarer. As long as it's not leading a suit that can be roughed in both hands, which would give away a rough and discard, it's not a mistake to play that. In fact, that's the winning play here, to force Declarer to keep roughing hearts, and eventually they will run out of trumps. Okay. So that was a topic I wanted to look at today. Situations where you need to establish a suit before you draw trumps, or before you draw all the trumps. Any comments or questions on any of that? Have I confused you, or?
It's a minefield, Tony.
I'm sure you'll be able to negotiate it brilliantly.
Tony.
Okay, thanks, Tony. See you later.
Any other comments?
Yes, I was a little bit confused, because in the first example you gave,
Yeah.
you said that when you were counting losers, and there were I counted 2 losers, and you said there were 4.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
This is, I think you should count this as 4 losers.
Yeah.
3 hearts and 1 diamond. Now, once it's 4 potential losers, if you like.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then you have to look at ways of eliminating them. And the first time it was played, Declarer was not able to eliminate any of them and lost 4 tricks. So that's why you don't immediately say, oh, there's just 2 losers here because I'm going to rough in dummy. Roughing in dummy may not be the best strategy here. So start off counting 4 potential losers. I always think you should do it in 2 stages. Count your potential losers and then look at ways to avoid them, such as roughing in dummy or discarding them on other winners.
It was just that in another example there was a similar extra losers, but you didn't count them, or I can't quite see what the difference was.
Okay, let's see. Was it this one perhaps? You tell me.
Yeah, there was two. Yes, I think it was.
So how many losers did we count on this one?
There were three. One, two,
Four.
three, four.
Four
Yeah.
losers
Four.
again.
Yeah.
Again, we started
Yeah.
with 4 losers there.
Yeah,
Mm.
So I did it exactly the same way. We've got 4 potential losers,
yeah,
but we found a way to avoid one of
yeah.
those.
Right.
Okay. So it was the same approach, and I
Yeah.
do recommend you sort of do it in 2 stages, because that will often help you figure out the best way to eliminate those
Yeah.
losers,
Okay.
rather than
Yeah.
assuming you'll just be able to rough them for it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing there.